coming up for you now. That's the half-time situation. Wales gave the Aussies a real fright in that first half, but it's 18-8 to the Kangaroos. The players are waiting, so let's get up to the commentary box again, and the lead voice you hear first, Bill Arthur.
Darren Lockyer sitting and watching the first 40 minutes here. Hasn't exactly been an oil painting or a work of art, shall we say, from Australia, mainly because of the trickery of that man. Ian Watson in the background, like Breers, retiring at the end of this tournament. And Breers certainly pulling the strings for Wales for the vast part of that first 40 minutes until Australia got possession, got territory and got points on the board to build up that 16-8 half-time lead.
Well, Cooper Cronk was very vocal at half-time, and the Australians, they did start the game slow, but it was the Welsh team that were getting in the faces, not letting them go through the gears. And for Iestyn Harris, he needs his side to make sure that this is a 40 minutes.
Could be a painful 40 minutes. Thurston has made the break. Cronk could be on for the hat-trick. He's not, he's given the ball away, and Dale Cherry Evans will get a debut try. Dale Cherry Evans, who was on England's radar, the Manly youngster, 22 years of age. And what a start to the second half from Australia. Firmly putting the awkward moments they suffered in the first half behind them with a really lively start to the second 40.
Well, what Wales did in the first half, they controlled the speed of the play of the ball, and that man in your screen, he just drops the shoulder, Jonathan Thurston. He has inside and outside options, and that's a great try on his debut. Daly Cherry Evans, the Manly halfback, had a fantastic season back home. Of course, in the grand final winning team, just on hand, and you're right, Bill, Cooper Cronk, who scored the 4th and 5th tries in this game, may have had a crack at it and a look at it himself, but the simple option just to pass it on to the inside support runner.
Well, that was Thurston kicking what was a very significant goal. That was 200 points for Australia in his career, and only 5 players have previously reached that mark for the Kangaroos. Mick Cronin, Mal Meninga, Andrew Johns, Graham Langlands, and of course, who else but Darren Lockyer. But now Jonathan Thurston has reached 200 points, and Australia off and running in the second half. And we can hear from the sidelines and Graham Beecroft.
Well, Iestyn Harris, the Welsh coach, said, we know they're going to try and up a gear here. We've got to stick with them. We haven't got to be caught out like we were at the end of the first half. So he obviously has been speaking about that. They've already been caught out. Aled James, by the way, will not be back on the field. Aled James, who went off with a degree of concussion, will not be back on the field. As far as the Aussies are concerned, keep working to build pressure was the word from the dressing room there. They're going to work and work and work to build the pressure and hope that Wales will eventually crack big style.
Cracked already in the second half, and Australia ahead by 24 points to 8. And real pace now from the Aussies. And Australia are going to have a lot of work to do in this second half, you sense, if this is the momentum that the Aussies are going to sustain. Here's Paul Gallen, that's the 5th tackle.
That's it. 5. Well done, mate.
And Cherry Evans will hoist the kick, and Danny Jones will come for it. It's a good kick as well. It's batted straight up into the air. It went forward, says the referee. And Wales will get the ball back, and that's a relief for the men in red.
It is a relief for the Wales team, Bill, but already we've seen in Australia's Cooper Cronk knocks the ball forward there, but already we've seen an Australian team come out and start the second half with much more intensity, a lot more enthusiasm. I'm sure they've had a wake-up call there. Terry alluded to it earlier. Cooper Cronk did plenty of talking. I think every player probably had their opportunity, as well as Coach Sheens. The one thing that Wales did exceptionally well in the first half was complete their sets. When you're completing your sets, you don't have to actually do a lot in all those sets, but you are starving the opposition of possession, you're making them tackle, you're turning them around. Wales need to repeat that in the second half to stay in this match.
There's Lloyd White now, and Lloyd White finds Kopczak, and Kopczak surrounded by green and gold. That's the 5th tackle as he wrestles his way free, and the ball with White, and now Breers, and Breers, well, the word has obviously gone out to make sure that Breers isn't such an influence, because Cronk might have been judged to be a bit late there, but Breers survived. The ball back on the inside. Oh, great run down that left-hand side It's Boyd, and Boyd will get another Australian try. And they've turned defence into attack there. And Darius Boyd gets his 7th try in Australian colours, deputising at fullback for Billy Slater. And Breers this time, the kick under pressure. And Australia have turned that around and gone from well inside their own half, with Boyd joining the list of scorers.
Well, Lee Breers under pressure from Cooper Cronk, and that spot on the right edge of Wales' defence is where Lee Breers should be, and that's where they made the previous break through Jonathan Thurston. This is about the attitude and energy that they probably lacked in the first half. A good bit of acceleration as well, and Darius Boyd in his favoured fullback position gets his first try of the night.
Only his 2nd appearance at fullback for Australia this evening, Darius Boyd, but he's played plenty in that position for the Dragons. He claimed the kick and ultimately scored the try. And it's real chalk and cheese from this Australian side. Struggled in the first half, but they are flying so far in the second. Thurston with 4 from 4 already this evening. And Wales will have to regroup. But Breers under pressure there, and the kick returned with interest by Australia, and Thurston adds 2 more points. And it seems a long time ago that they were trailing 8 points to 0. It's 30 points to 8 now in favour of the Kangaroos.
Well, that's the danger of a very good Australian side. Elliot Kay, he needed to have more confidence on the player who was defending inside him. He come in and left Josh Morris to go down the sideline, and Darius Boyd, what about that for a bit of vision from the fullback? A very, very good player, reads the game so well from the back.
Restart is well fielded by Friday. That's 24 points in 7 minutes either side of half-time for this Australian side. That's firepower.
They just look like they're running stronger. Every time they've got the ball, they're starting to land on the front. Paul Gallen leading the way. Sam Thayerday leading the way from the kick-off.
You've just named a couple of them, Terry. I don't think it's coincidental at all that Sam Thayerday makes a half break. To me, it's not coincidental that when Paul Gallen, Matt Scott and Sam Thayerday came onto the field, it made a big difference to this forward pack, the Australian side. And I'm not going to play down the fact that Corey Parker and Beau Scott haven't played any rugby league before. It's just a tough game to come in and play after being out for 5 or 6 weeks and get your timing straight away and get straight into the match. And I think they probably have struggled a bit with their match conditioning.
There was Sam Thayerday, who of course should be, barring injury, part of the Australian side that faces England at Ellen Road next Saturday. But England really building in readiness for that. And great belief in the camp, well-founded belief as well. That ball has been snapped up by Williams, and Williams will play on. Already a try scorer. Now then, Cherry Evans could have been penalised there.
Well, Rhys Williams, there was an awful lot of pressure put on him then. He did well to get the ball and come away with it. But Australia, they definitely upped the tempo in this second half. 100 metres they went with the ball in hand. You can see him. Rhys Williams, there's Cherry Evans' second effort at the top, number 14.
Kopczak plays the ball. Flower now. Wales move inside the Australian 40.
Wait, Sam. Go, well done, 4.
Breers little step from him, second step, but he's going across the field at the moment, and then finds Christian Reutz, and Reutz. Dale Cherry Evans makes the tackle. On the last, Breers kicks across the field, but there are Aussie players waiting for it. So too is Jordan James, and James will claim the try. And the Aussies stood and watched there, and again the kicking of Lee Breers found them out. And George James, a loyal Wales servant, he's missed only 1 game in his international career. Over 8 years, and a well-deserved try from the Salford prop to be Jordan James. And this kick, almost in front of those posts, gives Lee Breers the chance of 100 for Wales.
Well, this is when Wales were at their best in the first half, Whenever they had field position, whenever they put Australia under pressure, they came up with some plays that I'm not sure the Aussies were expecting. And Jordan James, we mentioned it before, he was part of that 2003 team that were humiliated, 76 points to 4. He catches that ball, slams it down and says, come on! Lee Briers had practiced this since he was 9-year-old. Puts it right on the dime. And the pride and passion in the red shirt.
Briers for 100 for Wales. He's got it. Landmark for Briers as he joins Iestyn Harris and Jim Sullivan, reaching that target. And Wales showing there is still plenty of fire in this Red Dragon side. Wales 14, Australia 30.
Well, Lee Briers wants, he wants options, whether they're going to run onto a ball or not. Ross Devotie, let's give him some credit. He's the player who got up and tapped the ball back for Jordan James to be in the right place. And Iestyn Harris will be so proud of his team's efforts.
Well, only one try in the tournament before this evening for Wales, but 3 so far tonight. And Iestyn Harris must be so proud, as must his fellow Welshman alongside him there, Phil Davis from the South Wales Scorpions, Mark Rowley, who we've mentioned before. Here's Christian Reitz. And it's a performance that has really been supported well by this Welsh crowd here in Wrexham.
Well, that's not a bad effort from Wales. First drive from Craig Kopczak was very strong, and now they're over the halfway.
Here is Jordan James. He spotted Sam Thaiday, so went the long way round there. Briers again able to put the tackle in. Again he's under pressure, and this time Cronk went low. The referee didn't see anything wrong with that, but Cronk went for the leg as I saw it there. Beg your pardon, maybe slightly unfair to Cooper Cronk in the challenge, but certainly Lee Briers getting the attention in this second half.
Well, Cooper Cronk as a halfback, he knows that he's got to put pressure on Lee Briers. He had it all his own way in that first half, and the second half, the intent is there from the Australian side. Don't give him time.
Here is Thaiday, and Thaiday on quickly to Joel Yaoye, but Yaoye stopped on the halfway line. Good defence by Rhys Williams, his opposite number. Here's Cameron Smith. Callan just over the halfway line. That's the 5th tackle. It was a really powerful start to this second half by Australia, and Thurston drills the kick in towards the corner, and across comes Jones and scoops that one up very calmly off his toes.
Well, that was a good pick-up from Danny Jones on the run. Elliot Kay, he was coming across the back, just sweeping up, and here's a penalty. Paul Scott, the man who's given the penalty away. And Wales straight away taking it. There it is, it's the infringement at the rope. And look at this for a kick.
Bo Scott has paid a heavy price for that infringement, and Wales have got the penalty taken quickly, and Australia still jogging back into position there. Can Wales post more points? Devotie will drive them forward. Denied a try in the first half, Ross Devotie. Budworth. Flower. Deep pass finds Danny Jones. I'm not sure he's meant to be that deep, and Wales have lost a lot of territory from there. Braychek plays the ball. Kopczak, direct approach from the Bradford Bull. 4 tackles gone. Here is Lloyd White, and White's short ball comes back off his teammates.
Well, Lloyd White and Ben Flower just fluffing the lines a little bit. There was options out to the back. May have been better served, giving it Lee Briers.
Just because the pass went loose, Tim, yeah?
But a good number of these Welsh forwards, Welsh players, doing their reputation a hell of a good. Here's Lee Briers' 40-50 metre kick.
Okay, boys, let's go.
And just finds that line.
Okay, Paul.
Well, what a way to bow out. His final appearance in Welsh colours for Lee Briers in his 23rd international, and he has been the ringmaster as Wales put the shove on at the scrum. The Aussies have it back, and Cameron Smith, in fact, emerges from the scrum with the ball and goes across the field looking for some support, can't find it, as the tackle is made by Ben Flower. Didn't quite come off, though, for Wales that time. Oh, and the ball goes to ground, and Beau Scott is the casualty.
Well, there's a lot of urgency in this Welsh side the last 10 minutes. Beau Scott, he drops the ball, maybe having a little look up at Craig Kopczak and Ross Devotey, but look at this for a push from the Welsh side. It takes a lot of energy out of you. Cameron Smith makes the break, but the Welsh players flooding back to stop them going the other end of the park and scoring the try. But when you get up in the faces, you can force this Australian side to make mistakes.
Well, England will be looking at that and thinking, we can do that to them next week. They need to, Bill. You can't stand back and let exceptional players play, because if they play on the front foot, they're going to hurt you. And England have got exceptional players, as they showed against the Kiwis last night with that great performance in Hull. And the whipping boys of the Four Nations, Wales, have done themselves proud here tonight. Whipping boys is how they were perceived to be, but they showed against the Kiwis in the second half they are nobody's whipping boys. And they've shown again against Australia here this evening, as Breers again kicks early, but this time the ball is snapped up by Inglis. Inglis, 6 foot plus, just reached up to gather that ball. Well, he needs to put more of a bomb up to get it over the top of Greg Inglis. He's that big. It's quite easy for the centre to take that, and Lee Breers, as soon as he kicks it, he knows that it's not the best. 30 points to 14. Australia lead against Lee Breers and his Welsh team. Braychek doing well to stand his ground, make the tackle there on David Shillington. Here is Thaiday, have to take that one, almost overran it, up to the halfway line. That's the 5th tackle. Flower doing, again, plenty of work, and it's one of the reasons Wigan have snapped him up. The Crusaders might have gone into meltdown, but many of their players have moved on, hopefully to bigger and better things, and the Crusaders' name survives with the North Wales Crusaders, kept alive by the enthusiasm of some 5,000 Wrexham and North Wales supporters.
Bill, this is an area where Wales have been very good tonight. Been very good coming off their own line. You see again, they've got to about the 40-metre line. Tackle 4, another play to go yet. They can rattle on to about the halfway and be kicking from around the 45-metre line. Every team would be delighted with that. That's absolutely outstanding performance. If Lee Breers can get a good kick, you get down there, you chase, you put some pressure on the Australian team, try to force an error, then you've got an opportunity to build some pressure and maybe take some more points.
It is a good bobbling kick which forces Josh Morris across the field. You just have to wait for that kick as it came towards him. Good work from Wales again.
Well, that is good work from Rhys Williams. There's the strength for Morris when he gets rid of a Welsh play. But when you're at market and you know that someone's in behind the dummy half who's going to scoot, you've got to split forward. You've got to take them yards away from them.
It's Cooper Cronk now. 4 tackles gone. Australia on their own 40-metre line. Cameron Smith. Thurston now. Thurston. Boyd, and Boyd, a little skip and a step, and it goes on the outside. He's got support on the inside, and it's Thurston who is one of those supporting players. Referee had a good view of that. Nothing forward about that, and Thurston underneath the post finishing that off. And again, Darius Boyd filling in for Billy Slater, having a hand in another Australian try, and Jonathan Thurston having a prolific evening on the scoreboard, kicking goals and now scoring tries. This one right under the post, giving him another 2 points.
Well, Sean McRae made a great point about the yardage that Wales were making when they had the ball, but that cycle of kicking and chasing and tackling and running the ball forward, you have to keep that cycle going. You can't afford to just do one. Running with the ball is one of the simpler parts of rugby league, but defensively, Wales have to be better than this. Some one-on-one challenges missed. Darius Boyd feeds it inside to Jonathan Thurston, and Australia get another try.
Bang in front of the post, Thurston, and 2 more points for him. 36 points to 14. Australia leads. Thurston with a 100% goal-kicking record this evening.
Well, I made the point, didn't I, that you've got to defend as well. And Jonathan Thurston, little wedge play to Darius Boyd. He's been terrific tonight for the Australian team. He's beaten a few there, Jonathan Thurston. It wasn't only Jonathan Thurston supporting, there was another 2 or 3 players. And Australia are capable of scoring that type of try. We've seen a few of them tonight. And that's where, I guess, their class and perhaps even their superior game fitness and experience is starting to show against a Wales team that's trying very, very hard indeed. But they're going to need to defend a lot better to stop Australia scoring points in the next 20 minutes of this match.
Another wicked restart from Lee Briers. One of those is going to come off, but a high tackle on Friday there. Braychek and Kopczak.
Well, fitness could be a key word, and we watched Wales in the second half really test the New Zealanders at Wembley last week. And I think the fitness, because there's a big gulf. You're talking about players playing in the Championship, some players not attached, a smattering of Super League players, and some players who are playing in country rugby league in Australia. So Wales's fitness will be tested, but in the tournament, all in all, it's been pretty good.
Two balls on the pitch, so referee Phil Bentham just asked the players to hold on. Chris Lawrence back on the field with strapping on around the heads. And Thurston, and again, giving it some width, and this is where Wales have suffered. This time they managed to stop Greg Inglis, so there is Chris Lawrence. And again, down the short side. With Beau Scott, and Scott heading for the sidelines and into touch. Good defence from Wales. Webster involved. Real commitment, as we saw against the Kiwis in the second half.
Well, Australia in the second half, they've come out and they really are attacking Lee Briers. Lee Briers looking for his teammates to come and help push Beau Scott into touch. And that's good effort from them. There's a problem with Lee Briers. I was just trying to buy his side a couple of minutes.
Briers on all fours. We've got out there Neil Budworth, who plays for the Mackay Cutters. I'm hoping that we'll also get Mark Lennon on the field as well, because he plays for the Thirroul Butchers in up near Wollongong, I think it is. It's Thirroul Butchers and the Mackay Cutters.
Thirroul, yes, Thirroul. Depends where you come from, Bill. But Thirroul, it's down the south coast.
It's the Butchers I'm worried about. The Butchers, the Cutters. Is this?
Don't read too much into that either.
Well, their club logo is a meat cleaver.
Move! Anthony Kerr when you lift him, eh? Goal 2.
Here is Budworth. A cutter.
Move!
Went out there after his experience with the Celtic Crusaders, Neil Budworth, and really likes life in Queensland. And there is Lennon, and he's given the pass to Thurston, and Thurston with Greg Inglis in support. Inglis under the posts. And Thurston capitalising on that straight pass. And Greg Inglis back in action after an injury. Makes it 17 tries now for Australia. Justin Harris and Barry Eaton just having words. Eaton passing the messages on to the sidelines, no doubt. Straight pass. The Aussies capitalise.
Well, it's the big centre, Greg Inglis, who gets over the line. But we've been talking about Mark Lennon, number 14. Well, he's butchered a try, and he's chopped it up and served it on a platter to Australia. And the Australians now attacking whilst in defence. Jonathan Thurston takes the risk, reads the play, instinctively get out, catches the ball.
Thurston, 6 from 6 so far this evening, and bang on target again, as you'd expect. 42-14 now, the scoreline. And Wales, they can't afford to give Australia chances like that.
But Mark Lennon does everything right, and all it needs to be is a little twos play there to Ross Devoti, not the long pass. They need to make sure that if they're looking for that long ball, there's people like Jonathan Thurston not sniffing around to get the interception, and that's the transition that they have. They can switch from defence to attack, and Greg Inglis, obviously he went in for the try.
Briers again coming up with a restart that makes Australia think. It had Chris Lawrence stretching for it, the West Tigers player. He's trying every trick in the book, but that's one trick too many.
Leave it out.
from Wales. Brejcek and Gil Dudson penalised.
Well, this is what Barry was on about. You can't make sure that you're giving penalties away, and the little knee in the face. There was no need from that from Gil Dudson. All that's done now is put his team under pressure. They're now defending 40 metres from their line.
Hold. Go.
Here's Shillington.
Move. Go.
Thaiday, who's run strongly since he came on the field and helped to liven up what has been at times a lethargic Australian performance.
Just look at the amount of metres he makes after contact. He keeps bumping his legs and he never gives up.
Thurston now, and quick hands again from Thurston. This time he had Beau Scott on his shoulder, but Scott is brought down. Now with Dale Cherry Evans. Wales right on their own try line as they once again look to keep the Australians at bay. Here is Thurston now. Boyd, long ball over the top, a great ball as well, and a great finish from Gerald Yao Yi. But the referee wants Ben Taylor to have a look at that to see whether Yao Yi got that ball down. Okay, I'm sure he did.
I didn't think there was a problem with that as well, Bill. I'm sure Yao Yi dives over and gets the try. Yeah, no problem. No problem from Yao Yi.
Seventh different try scorer for Wales now, for Australia now. Gerald Yao Yi getting his chance this evening. His second for Australia in his second international. And it's given Jonathan Thurston a tricky conversion from the sidelines.
Well, the setup is outstanding. A training ground move designed to give 3 attackers facing 2 defenders, and Rhys Williams has the job of trying to keep out Gerald Yao Yi. 3 versus 2, the long ball option is taken.
Well, Thurston has had an excellent evening with the boots, 7 from 7 so far. But Yao Yi's try right in the corner has given him a tricky conversion. I think it was even tighter to the sidelines than he's actually lining this one up from. Can he maintain his 100% record this evening, Thurston, who's passed now 200 points for his country? Misses for the first time tonight. Australia ahead by 46 points to 14 now. Trailed 8-0 earlier on in this contest, but have asserted their authority with some great finishing.
Well, they're starting to wear the opposition down, aren't they? And I guess that's an understatement at 46-14. But as Barry McDermott described it, it is a training ground play there. Darius Boyd had time. He could have gone to the line and perhaps played a short ball for Chris Lawrence to go through, but he chose to throw the ball earlier to Gerald Yao Yi, and he took his opportunity very, very well indeed.
Yeah, by this guy, and we'll have a look at it. All right, potential chicken wing, mate. You pulled the arm right back.
Well, Christian Wright's involved in a potential chicken wing, illegal tackle. And that incident has gone on report. I think one of the touch judges saw that and brought it to the attention of referee Bentham. Breers again with a tricky restart, and again the Aussies scrambling for it. Chris Lawrence it is who fields it before it could go dead.
Well, you've got to keep the opposition guessing when you're coming up with kickoffs like that. Lee Breers, he's got it all. He's got the box of tricks, and you never know what kick he's going to come up with.
Thaiday. Rumbling run from Sam Thaiday. Dale Cherry Evans now, lovely dummy from him. He's got Cooper Cronk in support, and Cooper Cronk will get his hat-trick. Try under the posts. And Cooper Cronk, another of the Melbourne Storm players who came off the bench to have a big influence at Wembley last weekend, having a field day, making it 3 tonight, taking him to 4 for Australia in his international career. And Wales just flagging in defence, and Australia making them pay now.
Well, put this try down to big Sam Thaiday. He's quick play the ball, and he's even pushing up in support. The dummy is shown by Daly Cherry Evans. He's just on his right shoulder and then stays in support until Cooper Cronk puts the ball down. He's there playing the ball, stays in motion. It's a simple drop-off play. He stays moving, and Daly Cherry Evans just has a simple 2 versus 1, and Cooper Cronk gets his hat-trick.
Once again, Thurston has lined the ball up in front of the post, hammered it home, and 52-14 the scoreline now. And 8 goals so far, his best effort for Australia. And 20 points for the game for Thurston. And he's just given his scrum cap to a spectator as Thurston takes a well-earned break on the sidelines.
Well, there's too many players for Wales who were shooting in on the edges. Nandi Braithwaite, he got that all wrong then. He come in, he planted his feet, his hips were facing the sideline, and you can't do that against the Australian national side because you know that they've got players who'll be pushing up, who will be options, and they'll just be there supporting each other in every single play.
Well, one youngster is a great souvenir of this evening's game, and a nice gesture from Jonathan Thurston. There's his scrum cap, being worn by a young Welsh supporter. What a souvenir that is. I hope he hangs on to that and it doesn't end up on a certain website.
That won't. You imagine trying to take that off the young lad.
Oh, lovely pass. Yao Yi, though, closed down quickly by Christian Reitz. Thaiday. And Wales really struggling to last the pace now. As Watmo plays the ball. And Cronk hoists that one. Oh, and the ball's been coughed up, and it's a knock-on.
First one by Wales.
First knock-on was from Wales. Australia couldn't capitalise.
I've seen it once.
As Lennon went up for it.
Do you know, you've got to be brave at the back, haven't you? When Lennon goes up for that ball, all he can see out the corner of his eye is Greg Inglis running at him. The man must be 6'4", 6'5", taking on one of the smallest lads on the pitch for Wales.
I think it also shows you the advantage when you're playing on the front foot, just how much more time your kicker has. He's able to be more accurate. He certainly got more height. I think it was Cooper Cronk to put the ball in the air, and it was a tremendous kick, and it was always going to be difficult for Mark Lennon to catch. And it's just pressure again built on this Wales defence, and they're going to do remarkably well to hold the Australians out.
Head and feed to Australia. And Cameron Smith hounded down by some good Welsh defence.
Hold. Go. He dummied it, he dummied it.
Watmo now, driving the ball in.
2, move, goal line. Goal, 2.
Into the last 10 minutes here at the racecourse ground in Wrexham. Cherry Evans, Thaiday, lovely hands from Thaiday, finds Darius Boyd, but the ball's gone forward. Wales have got it back.
I think it was a one-on-one strip from Reitz. Beautiful hands from Sam Thaiday. A soft little volleyball pass back inside. But Wales' goal line defence is standing up, and the remarkable defensive effort you was asking for, Sean, was there.
Oh, and then they've lost possession, and Elliot Keir has given it away, and they will pay again. And Josh Morris gets in the corner for his 3rd try for Australia. And Wales conceding possession, they've got the ball back. And Tim Sheens will be a lot happier with the second half performance than he was after the first 40 minutes. Morris, a last-minute call up to the squads. After a bit of an absence, that was his last appearance back in 2009.
Well, after Christian Reitz had managed to steal the ball, unfortunately Wales looked to pop it, and Keith Galloway does really well to knock the ball back, and then it's just through the hands. Greg Inglis, simple pass on to Josh Morris, and he probably won't score an easier try. You see it again, an offload. It's a bit ambitious near your line when you've been defending for a long time. It'll go down as an error. And Greg Inglis just had to simply catch and pass, and as I said, Josh Morris has really gone in. He didn't have to beat anybody at all, and he'll be delighted to get over the try line.
Well, Cameron Smith has taken over the goal-kicking duties. Thurston is off the field. And Smith, who's kicked 23 goals for the Kangaroos before this evening, takes over the job with a tricky attempt from out wide. And he's pushed that one wide of the target. Josh Morris is joining the list of Australian scorers who've taken the scoreline to 56-14 now. And they've really powered their way back into this contest. It was a sluggish start from the Aussies, and Wales really took advantage of possibly a bit of a sloppy approach early on. But it couldn't last, not in the face of such class opposition.
Do you know what, Bill? I thought earlier on in the game they forced them into making mistakes, and Lee Bree's kicking game in the opening 20 minutes was very, very good. But that's the second occasion that they've turned the ball over to Australians, they've picked it up, and they've just managed to switch on straight away into attack and come up with another try.
Could be penalised here as Galloway tried to get to his feet to play the ball with a Welshman trying to piggyback. That's good defence from the Welsh in the last 5 minutes.
Hold, lads, hold, go two.
It certainly hasn't been the run in the park that a lot of people, including the bookmakers, anticipated here this evening.
Go!
Daly Cherry-Evans with the pass. And the Aussies looking for more points to finish off here. Scott eventually brought to ground just inside Welsh territory.
Go! Come on, mate.
Thaiday. Still plenty of sting in the tackle from Wales, but they couldn't stop the offload, and Cherry-Evans goes across the field.
Touched.
Quick hands. Back to one. There was a Welsh hand in there, says the referee. The tackle counts wiped clean, so the pressure will mount on the Welsh defence here. Watmo now. Opposite number, Ben Flower, trying to hound him down, but he did well to offload, and Cooper Cronk, 3 tries already to his name, trying to bust through. Weary Welsh tackling now. Daly Cherry-Evans with the pass, lovely step from Darius Boyd, and Boyd looking for some support. Cherry-Evans couldn't take the pass, and it'll be Welsh head and feed at the scrum.
Well, they look like they're starting to enjoy themselves, Australia, promoting the ball, offloading it. A good step from Darius Boyd, and see how he stays tall. He looks to offload it to Daly Cherry-Evans, but he knocks the ball forward, right in front of the try line.
Manly's Rookie of the Year in 2011 for the NRL competition. That's some accolade.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic season, and I think tonight, Bill, I'm never a fan of that expression, a game of two halves, but what we did see in the first half was Wales play probably the best they could play, and they completed exceptionally well. I think they completed something like 91%, 92%. I don't know what it's going to be in the second half, but it won't be anywhere near that, and they won't have had the sheer volume of possession. And what you've seen is an Australian side been able to run rampant in the second half simply because they've dominated territorially, they've dominated physically, and when you give a side as good as Australia that much possession, they're going to rattle up the scoreline that they've done.
38 second half points for Australia, and they started the second half really fired up, full of pace, and rocked Wales back on their heels. Those points, that rush of points either side of half-time doing the damage. But Breers, in his last international, has tried every trick in the book to unsettle this Australian side, and early on he and his teammates certainly succeeded. I said it was a lacklustre start from the Aussies, but that's taking away fantastic opening quarter from this Welsh side, opening half hour in reality.
Can't take anything away from Wales. Hungry, a lot of passion on show. Were they where some they're not the household names that the Australian side have got. They've turned up here with an attitude that they're going to try and compete in every single set that they play against the Australians.
And I think Iestyn Harris deserves a lot of credit. He came into this game with a game plan that really tested the Australians.
That's a big hit from Breers.
And Lee Breers is putting shots on more.
Calmly.
How many times have you heard that phrase?
Never.
Never. Goes
Oh,
Big Corey Parker, the loose forward as well.
and I think Lee Brier was actually laughing then.
Kick comes in, it's a tricky one. And Elliot Keir, who for my mind has been one of the standout players.
Well, him and Craig Kopchak, I think, have really played well in this, and you can see that he just gathers that ball in. But they've got one set of 6 now. They've got to defend for one set. They don't want to concede another try and get the points up to 60.
To the last minute here, and Wales, well, they'll have to build for the future. Lee Brier's, of course, hanging up his boots. As far as Wales goes, there's still another season to come, plus who knows what else. As far as Super League goes, Ian Watson, Chris Beasley, all retiring from the international game. But we've seen the likes of Elliot Keir, Ben Flower, Gil Dudson. And there's more to come, as Barry mentioned earlier on. Wales beating England Community Lions earlier on in Wrexham this afternoon, 29-28, an exciting game. So South Wales Scorpions and now the North Wales Crusaders keeping the production line going for Welsh Rugby League. Australia, can they hit the 60 mark? Last play of the game, and Boyd is brought down. And Welsh commitment right to the end. Boyd, in fact, down and injured. With that last tackle, worrying signs for Australia. I think Boyd's back on his feet. And Australia running out handsome winners in the end, but having to work for it. Made to work for it by a committed Welsh side, as we've seen all the way through this Four Nations tournament. They might have been the underdogs, but they have made the big boys work for their wins.
Well, they're playing against some of the heroes, and they may never get that opportunity again. Andy Braithwaite swapping shirts with Sam Faraday. Now the Australians can switch on to the final next week when they take on England, and a very confident England side after last night's performance against the Kiwis. I'm sure it will be a tremendous contest that we will see on Sky Sports from two very, very good sides, but a lot of credit must go to Iestyn Harris and his Welsh side.
Well, Cooper Cronk getting a hat-trick for Australia, but Darius Boyd doing so many good things. An architect of so many of the tries, as well as being a try scorer himself, Darius Boyd. Ian McWilliam from Gillette will present Darius Boyd with his Man of the Match awards, and then we'll hear from Darius Boyd, the Man of the Match.
Well, Darius, many congratulations. In the end, it was a really good performance by Australia, but it didn't go according to script early on, I guess.
Yeah, no, Wales came out really hard, and they really stuck it to us early, and I think we showed some good skills to come back and really bring it home in the end.
What about the team talk at half-time? What was that like from the coach?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. He just wanted us to keep composed, get through our sets. We finished the half off early. We just knew if we could keep doing what we did at the end of the first half, we could put that through to the second half.
A try for you. You really enjoy playing fullback, don't you?
Yeah, no, I do. It's sad to see what happened to Billy, but I'm really looking forward to today's game and next week's game as well.
I suppose one of the dangers today was that this would have been, relatively speaking, a walkover for you, and you might not have been up to speed for the game against England, but Wales provided a test for you at times, didn't they?
Yeah, no, they definitely did. They come out really hard, and in the conditions in front of their home crowd, it was very, very tough early, and we, like I said, we did well to get over and top them in the end. What's the schedule for the rest of the week now, then? I think we go to Leeds tomorrow, and then a couple of training sessions, and then into the final on Saturday.
Thank you very much indeed, Darius.
All right, thank you.
Well, I'm joined now by Lee Briers. Lee, congratulations. That was a fantastic performance. You must be very proud indeed of leading a Wales side that worked so hard, particularly in the first half.
Yeah, well, when we entered this competition, we said we're not going to lie down, and that was a big goal of ours, not to lie down. And we put up a sterling effort, though, I thought. Against the best team in the world, we had them on the rack for long periods of the game, but as we showed in this competition, we had inexperience, and we can't keep that. We can't keep the pressure on for too long, and we let it off, and they come back into it. So we're disappointed with that, but we're happy from where we started. We've come a long way from 3 weeks ago.
You have indeed, and you must ticking through your mind at every restart must have been, how can I cause some trouble? What can I do different?
Yeah, and how can we save some energy? And unfortunately, we couldn't get any outs on and get the ball back, and they kept getting the ball and scoring all those. But a massive effort for all these boys, and some are part-time, and they've left work to come and play for Wales, and we've had a tremendous 3 weeks, even though the results have not gone our way. Wales as a nation, I think, are back on the map.
Certainly, and from your own point of view, 100 points for Wales. You join your coach Iestyn Harris and Jim Sullivan.
I didn't know. Yeah, they're always nice, but it's all about a team, and this is about 2011 Four Nations, and we'll look at this and build on it, and hopefully it'll give us a leg up for the 2013 World Cup.
You're retiring from international football. You're joining the backroom staff with Iestyn Harris. It's a good way to go out. I know it was a heavy defeat, but it was a good way for your boys to go out, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I've enjoyed every minute from 1997. I thank everybody I've played with, and every coach who's coached me for Wales. It's been an absolute pleasure, and it's never a chore representing your country, and I won't miss this. I'm going to miss it all. But a new chapter is going to start next year. I'm going to go on the coaching staff, which I'm looking forward to. And, hopefully I can bring some young Welsh lads through with the coaching side.
I'm sure you can. Iestyn, it's been a pleasure. Thanks very much indeed.
Lee.
They have been.
Well, maybe we'll be talking about him as a future Welsh international coach in the years to come. Lee Briers, and good to know he's going on Iestyn's coaching staff from next year onwards. He certainly was an inspiration tonight, and had the scoreline not been 56-14 in Australia's favour, who knows? Lee Briers, with his performance in the first half and what he achieved in the second half in patches, he just might have gone home with a little piece of glassware tonight to commemorate his last international appearance as the man of the match. As it is, it's Darius Boyd's little trinket, and Australia march on to